What's going on, everyone? This is Russ over here at A Plus Junk Removal in Rochester and Sarasota. I just wanted to talk to you guys about some stuff. One of the biggest questions I get as a coach and a mentor is, how do I scale? How do I grow? I'm about to buy a second truck. What do I need to do? And all of that. So one of the things I want you guys all to understand is that when you grow to a second truck, whatever you're doing to feed the first truck, you must double to feed the second truck, right? Because if you didn't need to up the ad spend or anything like that, you would already have two trucks running. Does that make sense? Let me kind of break it down to you like this. This is one of the ways that I explain it to clients. If you're with your wife, you have a baby. Oh my God, we got a baby, right? What do you got to do? You got to feed the baby, right? You got to put clothes on the baby. You got to feed the baby, all that stuff, right? Couple years later, oops, I got baby number 2 coming. Do you go to your wife and you say, hey, honey, listen, we got 2 kids now instead of 1. So what we should do is we should take half the food from the first kid and give it to the second kid. That way we can feed both of them half as much for the same amount of money. There's no parent in the world that would ever do that, right? You wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No one would, right? What you would do is you would give the second kid just as much food as you give the first kid. You'd buy him the same amount of clothes, the same amount of, food, drinks, all that stuff. So one thing you guys have to look at is your trucks or your kids. If you're spending $2,000 a month right now on Google for ads or whatever your advertising is, if you're spending $2,000 a month and you go and you buy a second truck and you do not up your ad spend, there's no reason for you to buy that second truck. If you needed the second truck on $2,000 worth of ad spend, you'd already have it, right? So you've never run 2 trucks. This is your first time going from 1 truck to 2 trucks and you think the advertising is going to have to stay the same. It's not. Go back to the kids. You wouldn't feed the second kid half as much as the first. And when it comes to your trucks, if you're trying to feed that second truck, work to hire, you're going to have to hire 2 more people. You're going to have more insurances. You're going to have, whatever your expenses are for 1 truck, you're going to double it when you get to the second. And if you're going to double those expenses, there's no way that you're going to be able to pay for them if you do not up your advertising budget. It is just a unfortunate part of growing. Growing, as my friend Justin Waltz says, sucks cash and sucks ass. I will say that. Every time you grow, you end up pulling more money out of the business and making less than you did the year before you added the second truck. But it's like anything else. When you added the first truck, you were scared. You didn't know what you were doing. You still spent money on advertising. And now that you know what you're doing, you're moving into a second truck. And now you're back in the same feeling. I'm scared. What happens if I spend all this money in advertising and I don't get it back and I just bought a second truck? You just did it with the first truck. If you just did it with the first truck and you're succeeding, there's a really good chance when you get the second truck, you're going to succeed too. But you have to up your ad spend and a lot of different marketing things just in order to feed that second truck. So for the guys that are out there, going from 1 truck to 2 truck and think that you're going to do it on the same Google Ads budget, that's not going to work, because if it was going to work, you'd already have 2 trucks.